as God's people, followers of Jesus, keepers of the children, how are we to act? What is our responsibility? Well, biblically, we are to see that every child has food, shelter, an adult to provide guidance and discipline, and a community with resources for their healthy development. We are to pray for the well-being of all children, and we are to go to places of power to advocate for the well-being of children.
When I'm talking about children today, I'm specifically thinking of children who have experienced abuse, children who have experienced neglect, and children who have experienced other forms of trauma, because these are things that are happening to them. They're truly vulnerable. This is not in their control at all. And these children are walking really dark, really scary paths. And they're doing that because their families are in crisis. You know, I'm not sure anyone sets out to abuse their children. I think people love their kids. But the families around us are struggling with really big challenges, things like mental health battles, substance abuse challenges. They may be living with poverty or housing instability. They may be in a domestic violence situation. There are absent parents, you know, single parent households where a parent may be incarcerated. And in all honesty, there are emotionally absent parents who may be there physically but aren't really there for their children. And all of these stressors weigh on a family. The trauma going on affects the current health and safety of a child, but it also affects who that child will become. And it affects all of us because the adults that these children become are either sowing into or taking away from our community, right? And so when you think about making decisions for the children today is painting a picture of what our future is going to be like in 20, 30, 40 years. And there's actually we have amazing judges in Henrico County, and they are making really critical decisions on behalf of these kids. And while they're making these decisions, they're hearing from attorneys, they're hearing from the Department of Social Services, they're hearing from officers and other professionals, but they do not hear from the children themselves. And that's a gap in our system. And that's why CASA, court-appointed special advocates, exist, to fill that gap, to make sure these kids are heard, that their voice is brought into the courtroom. I hope that you sense my heart is for these kids, the church's heart is for these kids. And everyone can do something because it only takes that one caring adult. So if you would be interested in becoming a CASA or learning more, I'd love to tell you about it. We offer training 3 times a year. It's the most rewarding role. I mean, it's really amazing to see a child and walk with a child through a dark time and to know that you're setting them up for a brighter future. But it's not right for everyone. And so there's other ways to support us, to work with us. And so I encourage you to connect. But whether it's with CASA or not, you can support families. You don't need a role or a title to be able to support families in our community. And so I encourage you to see them, to see their struggles, be gracious towards them, show up for them. You can be the stable person in someone's life. You can be the one that makes a difference. And when you stand up and speak up, you are filling a need. And these kids really need you. So.